No, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And welcome to all of you again from my side and from Cisco Networking Academy. As we were studying the course Introduction to IoT under the umbrella of Cisco Networking Academy, and we have finished our first two chapters, Everything is Connected and Everything Becomes Programmable. Today we are going to start our third chapter, that is Everything Generates Data. In this chapter, we will study about big data, and we will explain the concept of big data, describe the sources of big data, and then we will explain the challenges and solutions to big data storage, and we will explain how big data analytics are used to support business. So the first thing is, what is big data? For big data, I want to quote a definition for big data here. Big data is the data that contains greater variety arriving in increasing volume and with ever higher velocity. As you can see on the screen here also, it is written that data is information that comes from a variety of sources such as people, picture, text, sensors, websites, and technology devices. There are three characteristics that indicate an organization may be dealing with big data. The first is volume, the second one is velocity, and the third one is variety. What is volume? Actually, volume is when organizations collect data from a variety of sources, including business transactions, IoT devices. I was saying the volume. What is volume? Organizations collect data from a variety of sources, including business transactions, smart IoT. Organizations collect data from a variety of sources, including business transactions, smart IoT, smart IoT devices, industrial equipments, videos, social media, and more. In the past, we were storing the data on different cheaper storage devices, but now the now for storage we have platforms like data lakes and Hadoop have eased the burden. What is Hadoop? We can define it as it's an Apache. Hadoop is an Apache product that is a collection of open source software utilities that facilitate using a network of many computers to solve problems involve massive amounts of data and computation. It provides a software framework for distributed storage and processing of big data using the programming model. So what is velocity? Velocity means as the growth in the Internet of Things, data streams into businesses at an exceptional speed and must be handled in a timely manner. RFID tags, sensors, and smart meters are driving the need to deal with these torrents of data in near real time. It means that volume is a large amount of data that increasingly requires more storage space. That is called volume. And velocity, an amount of data that is growing exponentially fast, and day by day it is growing fast. And what is variety? The different type of data, different type of formats. Those can be structured like numeric data in traditional databases, to unstructured text documents, emails, videos, audios, tickers, data, and financial instructions. So uh, these are three features of big data. The examples of data document collected by sensors. One, you can see here on the screen. It is mentioned in your slide. One autonomous car can generate 4,000 of gigabits of data per day. One smart connected home can produce as much as 1 gigabyte of information in a week. So when we are talking about big data, it means the amount of data that we are producing the data from different scenarios. Like if we are having the smart devices in our network, then every smart device is producing a data. So this data is a very big volume of data. So for this purpose, we are storing this data on a cloud. So as you can see here, in this activity, it is mentioned that does the business generate big data? If in this activity it is mentioned an orange grove company has sensors in the trees and on the machines that harvest the oranges. A camera mounted on the harvester takes a close-up picture of the orange every 5 minutes. Live data is sent to the distributor who gets this data from 100 companies. Does the distributor have big data? So the answer is yes. That he is, because in every 5 minutes he is collecting the data. So it will be a big data. Similar, you can see here this activity. Also, there are three similar activities on the on your portal of Cisco Networking Academy. You can see there and you can solve these activities from there when we will finish the lecture. Large data set means companies do not necessarily have to generate their own data. What does it mean? This means that no need to generate the data by every company, but already the generated data that is present on the internet or on the cloud, they can analyze that data, and the data is available already on the internet, and you can analyze, or companies can analyze that data from there. So there is no need of saving data or collecting data by their own. So they are collecting already collected data will be analyzed by the companies, and they can use for their own purposes. What are the challenges? What are the challenges of big data? When we are talking about the challenges of data, then these challenges are management. There is a management challenge here, security challenge, redundancy challenge, analytical challenge, and access. Because IBM's big data estimate concludes that each day we create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. So if we are generating, or if we are collecting this much data every day, so it is not easy to manage this data. Also, it cannot be secure. So we have to secure this data. And also, if redundancy means we have to replicate the data every time, because if the from the internet, if the data is deleted, then what happened? Then what happened? Every data, the data that we have collected will be deleted from the internet or from the cloud, where we have saved on data centers on servers. If the server is corrupt, then all the data will be deleted from there. So we must have a backup of that data. So these are the major challenges that that are for big data. Where can we store data? This is the next thing. The big data is typically stored on multiple servers in data center. We are storing the data in on servers in data center for security, accessibility, and redundancy. The data is usually distributed or replicated on many different servers in many data entries. So why we are doing this? We are storing the data on different data centers. As I told you, due to if with some reason if the data is deleted from one server, so we have the redundant data for us. And what is fog computing? Fog computing is actually was designed to keep the data closer to the source for pre-processing. Sensor data, in particular, can be pre-processed closer to where it is collected. After the data has been pre-processed, it is often stored as a backup uh, or deeper analysis within the cloud. So as you can see in the figure here, these are all fog computing, and this fog, these are all fog computing here. These four are in the diagram for fog computing. What does it mean? These fog computing are nearest to the sensors, and from their sensor the data sent to the fog computing, and fog computing send this data towards the internet, and from the internet, as you can see here in the data center or in the cloud computing, these are saved. In cloud is there. In the cloud, we have different servers are there in data center, and all the data that is sent by these fog computing are saved in the cloud computing. So as you can see here, fog computing utilizes end user clients or edge devices to do a substantial amount of the pre-processing and storage. Data from the pre-processed analysis can be fed back into the company's system to modify process if required. Communication to and from the server and devices is quicker and requires less bandwidth than constantly going out to the cloud. What is happening here, as I told you, from the sensor, the data is stored on the fog computing, and then from the fog computing, it is sent towards the cloud, where in the cloud, the data center is there, and the servers are there, where we are saving the data. The cloud and cloud computing. What is cloud? The cloud is cloud is provided by different companies, different big companies. It is provided by it is provided by Google. That is we know that is Google Drive. Similarly, Apple is providing a cloud that is called iCloud, and Microsoft is also providing a cloud that is called OneDrive. Cloud services for individual. What does it mean for individual for individual person? When he is using the cloud, the storage of data such as picture, music, movies, and emails, these all are saving on the cloud by individual. And when he is saving the data on the cloud, a person is saving the data on the cloud, then he can access many applications instead of downloading onto his local device. As we are using many applications on our mobiles, we are not installing the on the device. The application we are not installing on the device, but we are using that application, online application. Like if you are going to purchase an air ticket and you are going to any website, you can directly use that application of that website on internet. Similarly, if you are accessing the data and that data by using an application that is anywhere, anytime, and on any device. So these are the cloud services for individual person, and for the enterprise service cloud services for an enterprise. This include access to organization data anywhere and at any time. What we are doing, if we have we are working in an organization and we want to access that organization, so we will connect to the internet, and directly we will access the services of our organization. Similarly, streamlines the IT operations of an organization. What does it mean? It means that if a person is a network administrator and he wants to organize the IT operation of his organization. What he will do, he can access the network of his organization from home, from anywhere he is, either from the other countries. If he has the internet connection, he can access the organization and he can manage the network devices as well. And this eliminates or reduces the need of on-site IT equipment maintenance and management. Like the data centers are on the cloud, and the company has all the information on that data in that data center on the cloud, and you don't need to go to that organization, but it is directly accessible from the cloud. Anytime you can access, the employee can access or the administrator can access his organization, that all the data is present on the cloud. So it reduces the cost for equipment, because we are not purchasing our own server and we are saving all the data on the server that are present on the cloud, and we don't need energy physical plant requirements, which will be fulfilled by the cloud, and personal training needs. These all things are uh, uh, can be possible when we have all the data on the cloud. The next is distributed database. What is distributed database? Distributed database means we are not saving our data. We are not saving our data on a single device, but as you can see here in the diagram, if this is a data, this data is divided into small pieces of data, and it is not saved on one place, but it is saved on different places. So these smaller pieces are distributed in many locations to be processed by many computers. Each computer in a distributed architecture analyzes its part of the big data picture horizontal scaling. Okay, and how we can define the distributed processing? The distributed processing, rather than large databases being processed by a big and powerful mainframe computers and stored in a giant disk arrays, vertical scaling, distributed data processing takes a large volume of data and breaks it into smaller pieces. These smaller data volumes are distributed in many locations to be processed by many computers with smaller processor. Each computer in a distributed architecture analyzes its parts of the big data picture, as I told you before. So this was the distributed processing. As you can see here, Hadoop, I was already explained that it's an Apache framework that is used for the collection of uh, is this Hadoop is a collection of open source software utilities that facilitates using a network of many computers to solve problems involving massive amount of data and computation. It has uh, uh, it has two main features that has made it the industry standard. One is scalability and the other one is fault tolerance. What is scalability? Scalability means larger cluster sizes, improve performance, and provide higher data processing capabilities. And Hadoop automatically replicates data across clusters. In Hadoop, you can see that we are not distributing our data, but this framework is also this framework is used for distributing the storage data and processing of big data using programming model. Why do businesses analyze data? This is another thing that this big data. Why businesses are analyzing this big data? Actually, when we are connect, when we are when any company is collecting the data, uh, they are analyzing the data for their own purposes. Data analytics allows business to better understand the impact of their products and services. They want to know that what kind of the products those are available in the market of of his company. These products and services are good or not. So they are collecting the data from different consumers, and then they are analyzing that data and with different methods, and then they can understand that their product is good or bad. So value comes from two primary types of process data: transactional and analytical. Transactional information is captured and processed as events happen, used to analyze daily sales reports and production schedules to determine how much inventory to carry. And analytical information supports managerial analysis tasks like determining whether the organization should build a new manufacturing plant. So these are the basis on which the data is analyzed by the business, and from where these companies or these organizations are collecting data. What is the source of this information for this data? This data is generated from the sensors and anything that has been scanned, entered, or released to the internet. Anything that is connected to the internet that is producing some kind of data. Like if sensors are there, sensors are connected to the internet, then sensors are sending the data towards the internet, and that data is stored on the cloud or on any server. So this collected data can be categorized as structured or unstructured data. Structured data is created by applications that use fixed format input such as spreadsheets, and the other documents, those are structured in structured form, and this may need to be manipulated into a common format such as CSV. Unstructured data is generated in a free form style, such as audio, video, web pages, and tweets. Examples of tools to prepare unstructured data for processing are web scraping tools. Those are automatically extract data from HTML pages, and RESTful application program and RESTful, that is application program interfaces, APIs. From there we are collecting the data. These are the sources of data, and any device that is connected to the internet and that is generating data, that is the source of information or data. Data visualization. Visualization means that we are the data that we have collected, or any organization or a company has collected the data. Then that data, we will convert that data into a visualized form. Like in different kind of graphs, we are converting this data. That is called digital visualization. As it is mentioned, it is written on your slide. You can see data mining is the process of turning raw data into meaningful information. This mined data must be analyzed and presented to managers and decision makers. And determining the best visualization tool to use will vary based on the following: number of variables, number of data points in each variable. Uh, is the data representing a timeline? Item requires comparison. Popular charts, those are present, include line, column, bar, pie, and scatter. Here, these are, as you can see, here there are different kinds of graph or charts. Analyzing big data for effective use in business. As I told you, that all the organizations or companies are collecting data, and then from different scenarios they are taking the data, and then they are analyzing the data for their company. The data analysis is the process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data to uncover useful information. Having a strategy helps a business determine the type of analysis required and the best tool to do the analysis. Tools and applications range from using an Excel spreadsheet or Google Analytics for small to medium data samples, to the applications dedicated to manipulating and analyzing really big data sets. Example includes NIME, OpenRefine, Orange. and rapid miner. These are different applications. Those are used for analyzing the data. So this chapter is finished here, and we are going to start the next chapter, that is chapter number 4, and it is everything can be automated. First of all, we have to understand what is automation, or first we will have what is automation, then we will see the next, that is the topic, what can be automated. So what is automation? The automation is from the word automatic, and you know the meaning of automatic, that you are not doing your work with your hands, but it's done automatically. So by the word automatic, you can understand automation is the noun for automatic. So we can define automation as the certain and application of the creation and application of technology to monitor and control the production and delivery of products and services. Also, automation is a technology by which a process or procedure is performed with minimal human assistance. Also, we can also define automation as it's a method of operating or controlling the process by automatic means. Uh, Things such as electronic devices, machines, and even robots are used to automate tasks. Advances in software, machine learning, and robotics are quickly making it possible for companies to accomplish more with fewer workers. When we are talking about automation, then this means that we are automating all the things we are not doing with our hands. As you can see in this picture, this person is driving a car, but this car, he has not touching the steering of the car, so it is automatically operated. So this means automation, and robots are used in this automation. In the automation, the robots are used. Sometimes you can see in a very dangerous condition, in mining, firefighting, and cleaning up industrial accidents, the robots are used. Similarly, when we're talking about IoT, the IoT opens up a new world in which tasks previously requiring human intervention can become automated. What does it mean in IoT? As we can see that our all the machines are connected with the internet, that is called Internet of Things. All the devices are connected with the internet, and automatically we can operate, or by remote control we can operate these all devices anywhere if we have the internet connection. How is automation? How is automation being used? As we can see that now, we have smart home automation. There are smart buildings, industrial IoT, and smart factories. Smart cities are there. Smart grids, smart cars, stores and services, medical diagnosis and surgeries, aircraft, autopilot. These are all the examples of automation that we are using nowadays. And things start to think. Uh, the question is, can things think? Can a device learn from its environment? In this context, there are many definitions of word think. One possible definition is the ability to connect a series of related pieces of information together and then use them to alter a course of action. For example, I want to give an example here. When we were young, we have no concept that a fire is hot and it can harm us. If we will touch the fire, it can harm us. As a fire may appear visually pleasing and actually encouraging one to try and touch the flames. But after some time, we realize that the fire can cause injury. Then we start to associate the image of the fire with the pain it can cause. If we have created the image in our mind that if we will touch the fire, then it will injure us. So and then we start thinking about the results of touching the fire, and base our and on the basis of our actions on this acquired information. Whenever a decision or a course of action is taken by a device based on an outside information, then that device is referred to as a smart device. Many devices that we interact with now have the word smart in their names. This smart, what does this smart mean? This smart indicates that the device has the ability to alter its behavior depending upon the environment, and it is possible. And this start thinking of things is possible due to artificial intelligence and machine learning, as we have already discussed artificial intelligence in our first chapter. So it is possible with the help of artificial intelligence. As here it is mentioned, whenever a decision or course of action is taken by a device based on an outside information, then that device is referred to a smart device, right? This is an example of smart home, and this is a link. You can do this lab after finishing this course. As I told you, that this smart, uh, the word smart and the device that they are saying that this device is a smart device, it become a smart device due to the artificial intelligence and machine learning. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence and machine learning both are two very hot buzzwords right now, and often seem to be used interchangeably. Artificial intelligence is the broader concept of machine being able to carry out tasks in a way that we would consider smart. As I told you, the smart word smart we are using for the devices, and it happens due to the artificial intelligence. All uses AI uses intelligence that can appreciate their environmental and tech decisions. AI refers to systems that uh, mimic cognitive functions normally associated with the human minds, such as learning and problem solving. And machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that uses statistical techniques to give computers the ability to learn from their environment. This enables computers to improve on the particular task without being specifically programmed for that task. Machine learning and IoT. So when we are talking about machine learning, then this machine learning, what is the concept behind machine learning and the IoT? We can define machine learning as it's an application of AI based around the idea that we should really just be able to give machine access to data and let them learn from themselves. So, common uses of machine learning technology include these all, as it is they are mentioned here: speech recognition, uh, product recommendation, shape recognition, credit card fraud detection, and facial recognition. What does mean speech recognition? Speech recognition is the ability of a machine or program to identify words and phrase in spoken language and convert them into a machine readable format. Like we are talking, we are speaking, and the machine is recognizing our speech, and the action is performed. And what is a product recommendation? Product recommendation is basically a filtering system that seeks to predict and show the item that a user would like to purchase. Recommendation engines basically are data filtering tools that make use of algorithms and data to recommend the most relevant items to a particular user. Users of Amazon and eBay receive recommendation on products organizations such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and Google Plus, and these all things are the product recommendation. And what is shape recognition? Actually, programs exist that allow crude hand-drawn diagram and notes to be converted to more formal diagram and text. Any deviation from these patterns, those are given. These patterns triggers an alert, and the system automatically take action. This action ranges from denying the transaction to notifying the authorities. Some of the events that are detected and could indicate a fraudulent transaction include purchasing products not normally, not normally, but these products are not normally purchases in a different geographic area, rapidly purchasing many different products and purchasing large ticket items. So this was the credit card fraud detection. And facial recognition, this is you can say when everywhere there are security cameras in the stores and in the streets and the airports. These cameras are continuously scanning the crowds, normally watching for dangerous or illegal activities, but they can also be used to identify and detect individual person. The system builds a pattern of specific facial features and then watches for a match to these facial pattern triggering some action. So with the face recognition, these tasks are performed. Also, to the lab, you can check on the portal. The next is intent-based networking. As also we have discussed intent-based networking in our first chapter, but again it is here. So we can say IT industry creating a semantic approach to tie infrastructure management to business intent. That is IBN, intent-based networking. Uh, with traditional, when we are talking about traditional networks, many different components must be manually adjusted to meet ever-changing business requirements. This requires different techniques and engineers to ensure that the system are changed in a manner that allows them to work together to accomplish their goal. And this sometimes results in errors and delays, and often in suboptimal network performance due to manual work, or you can say due to manual configuration on the system or on the network. The human errors are there. So the idea behind the IBN is that humans tell the network an intent. The intent is what we want to happen, a desired state of action that the IBN is going to take. So no configuration is provided. A network itself must configure out. A network itself must figure out what action is needed to fulfill the intent. So we are not configuring our devices, but these devices are configured automatically. As you can see, a network must be responsive enough to quickly adopt change security policies and procedures, business services and application and operation policies. So we are defining all these things in the system, and then system is working automatically. How how are machine learning, artificial intelligence, and uh, intent intent based networking linked? Intent-based networking harnesses the power of automation, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to control the function of a network to accomplish a specific purpose or intent. Network is able to translate the intent into policies. What is the purpose of network? It translates the intent into policies and then use automation to deploy the appropriate configuration required. Intent-based networking model consists of uh, three key elements, as you can see here. One is assurance, the second one is translation, and the third one is activation. So, what is assurance? The assurance element is end-to-end verification of network-wide behavior. It is checking the behavior of the network and assure that this is a network behavior. Then it predicts the result of any changes. This assurance predicts the result of any changes, tracks compliance with the original intent, and make recommendations or adjustments when there is a problem between the intent and the outcome. This stage relies heavily on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So systems are part of closed loop that continuously though- that continuously monitor performance and security of the network and reconfigures the network to ensure compliance. So this is the assurance. It is checking when we reached here on translation. So the translation element is the ability to apply business intent to network configuration. So the policies and what we have defined the behavior of the network in the assurance, and now in translation what happened, it will apply a business intent into the network configuration. What we are thinking or what is our desire, it will be applied on that one. This intent is specified in plain language and used by the system to create policies across the system. For example, an intent might be to segment guest traffic from corporate traffic or to enable access for remote users. And the next one is activation. What is activation? As you can see here, the third thing, from assurance it is going to the translation, and from translation it is going towards the activation. The activation element occurs after the intent has been specified and the policy created. This is when individual devices are provisioned to match the intent based policies. This can be an automated or semi-automated mode that allows the network team to verify configuration before the devices are deployed. And intent-based network creates an agile, responsive network that scale easily and adopt to meet business requirements. It makes efficient use of highly skilled resources and allow man and machine to work together to optimize the customer experience. Additionally, intent-based networking provides a more secure digital experience by automating time-consuming or complicated processes. This makes deploying security policies much easier. So this was the link between machine learning, artificial intelligence, and intent-based networking. Use cases for intent-based networking. Intent-based networking allows the company to focus on business goals. So the main purpose of the intent-based networking is uh, focus on business. It is allowing the company to focus on business goals. It provides an automated system that understands what the organization needs and then make it happen. A very good example of an intent-based networking is the Cisco digital network architecture. that is called DNA. It accelerates and simplifies enterprise network operation while lowering cost and reducing risk. Cisco DNA automation and assurance are built on a software-defined networking controller. Uh, it is operating on SDN. Okay, you can also there is a video present on your portal, and you can check this video from there. Okay, so this chapter is also finished here, and now we are going to the that is yes, everything needs to be secure. As you know that the main problem nowadays when we are talking about internet or anything that is present on the internet or on the cloud, the main thing is security. So why security is so important? This is the main thing, and in the digitized world you can see here it is present that personal identifiable information, these are personal identifiable information, and these are information. Social security, this is types of data: social security numbers, range value, email addresses, bank account numbers, student tuition bill. These are all data that belongs to a that belongs to person. Anyone have this data? Any person has this data. So I think we have to take a break here for 5 minutes. Then we will start the next chapter better.